Loud and clear.
Hear you good.
Okay, so I'm kind of starstruck right now because I can't believe I'm talking to you guys right now. Um,
Trust me, we are no stars. If you saw me this morning, and it ain't no star. I didn't get up
I got
early. I
my
was
flip
tired.
flops on, and
Oh yeah.
I just want to say I listen to you guys. So I work Friday through Sunday. I work 12-hour shifts in a warehouse. I work in a freezer. So I'm
wow.
constantly always listening to you guys while I'm at work, like 12 hours a day, all the time. Um, so yeah, you guys like are just like a huge inspiration to me. So
Appreciate it.
I just want to say I've been wholesaling or trying to wholesale or get a deal since probably, I don't know, April of this year. I got into it because of Paul McCamos. May he rest in peace. Um, I actually have a message from him before he died. He said that I can do it. So he's basically been my inspiration the whole time. Um, I stumbled upon you guys just looking up wholesaling stuff on YouTube. But yeah, man, I'm actually on prop stream right now, going through vacants and stuff like that. Just texting, sellers while I listen to you guys and wait to actually talk to you guys. But yeah, man, I'm out here grinding. I'm trying, every day, Monday through Thursday. But yeah, you guys are a huge inspiration, and I feel honored to actually talk to you guys. It's crazy. I listen to I mostly listen to Rick a lot. Um,
Be
it's
careful, man.
crazy.
Sometimes I
Like
ramble, man.
like I literally just pull out my phone on break, just get on Spotify and I just download each and every podcast, or I try to,
Yeah.
and just listen to as much
Yeah.
information, as I can from you guys.
You know how
Um,
this kind of got started is when I was walking Zach through the do it. I'm just like, you know what? We make this so confusing and so overwhelming, and that's when he kind of had the ideas. Like he goes, let me pull that stuff up in your
I
brain
remember
because I've been doing this
that. Oh,
forever.
for you. I
Yeah.
started recording myself on
And
deals, and then
I'm a
added you
little bit
on.
more challenging, like pulling the stuff out of my head, and like you don't realize how much you know until you see you give somebody one skill set and they
Yeah.
do it. I'm just like, and now I've done it thousands and thousands of times over, and honestly, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't kind of be doing this together. But if it wasn't for me getting him started, he probably wouldn't be doing this. So we decided to kind of put our synergies together. And the key thing is that we wanted to be like super accessible because everybody we ever dealt with online or anything, it was like this, like you had to be like someone super special to be able to talk to them. So we wanted to remove all the barriers to entry, and there's something satisfying talking about someone like you're following and actually like being able to connect with them, and that's why we go live so much. That's why we do it. Um, I don't care, like whoever gets you started in wholesaling, like God bless them. Like that's it. Our job is to try to help you get you to the finish line and keep going because I know it can be frustrating and give you like the real action plans because I think I've been doing it longer than most people on the internet, and I can take a lot of the tactics I struggle with and show you how to do them. And then he has a modern new day twist on it. He's a little bit better with some of the technologies, and that's why I think we're kind of the perfect blend. Plus, we pick on each other a lot, so
No,
yeah, I see that a lot too.
we appreciate hopping on, guys. FYI, I don't think everyone understands this. We do have all these lives are on podcast format on Spotify and on Apple. It's called the Bags to Riches podcast. I think you search Zach or Rick in, it'll probably pop up on the top. But yeah, they're on there if you want to listen while you're working. Because, dude, I used to live that life, man. Like I used to listen to podcasts while closing grocery store. So like I get it, right? What market are you in?
So I'm in Illinois, sadly, but I'm
Where?
close to I'm in Midwestern Illinois, so I'm actually like 40 minutes away from the Quad Cities, and that's actually my market that I'm working on is like
Dude,
not Illinois, but the Davenport side, Bettendorf
yeah,
area
dude, you
that
got
area.
Davenport, Moline, Rock Island, dude, money, all money there.
Yeah, I have a good cash buyer under my belt right now, and then I think it was probably about a month ago now. I spoke to an attorney because over there they don't really have any good title companies. They have attorneys that can handle the deal or whatever. So I
Yeah,
talked to him, see if he can deal with wholesalers. He's like, yeah, just send me a deal, and I'll, get you squared away. So, I have those things, done. Now I'm just looking for, sellers, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing is every day when I'm off of work, pulling lists and, texting or, calling, you know, Zach
That,
keeps,
dude, great
oh, go
market,
ahead,
man.
go.
No, dude, it's a great market. A lot of people are not lucky with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be doing that one.
Yeah. And I have, I have a lot of, tools and resources like a guy at my job, he actually has, he's a real estate broker, and he wants me to get my license so I can work underneath him, and, we can do deals and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I watch you guys, and you guys always say, don't get your license, and this and that, and, and I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm just going to go the wholesale route and,
Yeah, I mean, you're in Illinois, so it is slightly different, but it's not insanely crazy, right? You could get. I don't think. I'm going to say no on the license yet. How about you get a deal first in Illinois? Just do the Quad Cities, dude. You can do one deal, and then from there, use that money to get your license, and then I think you should get licensed after a deal if you're living in Illinois. This is why you've listened to me a while. But I got to hop on the one-on-ones, man, because this is when I can just help you guys one-on-one, right? Most people charge you $5,000 to even get in a Zoom with somebody, right? And the honest truth is, man, like, I would say do a deal in Illinois, get your license, and then wholesale in Illinois with a license, because, dude, it's a cakewalk. Outside of Chicago, Illinois is a cakewalk, and no one ever does it because they're scared of the law. Just get licensed, you should be fine, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big license guy. That's in general. Illinois is a little bit different, so take it with a grain of salt. But understand the licensing is just a check on a box. It's not going to help you be a better wholesaler. Like, they're going to try to train you to be like a real estate agent, and I hate that model. But that's my personal opinion, because I've been told my entire life, you need to get a license. You need to get a license. I'm like, tell me why. I 20 years without a license, and your state's a little bit different.
So Penelope's playing lawyer on this thing. We love you, Penelope, but it's not $25,000 if you do one deal. Now, it is up to, but the honest truth is no one's ever enforced that law.
Yeah.
And number two,
give me a case law on it.
You can do one deal in Illinois without being, quote unquote, in trouble. But really, there's ways around it. But I would stick to just doing one deal first, use that money, get a license, and then wholesale in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my plan. But I don't know.
Lawyer before you do anything, obviously. This is not legal advice. But yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Before I go, though, I actually do have two legit questions. So my only two questions would be, and I've heard Rick say this a lot, and I've watched the video back and back and back just to kind of, really understand it. But I heard Rick always say, when you do your first deal, okay, you have your cash buyer, give it to the title company first. But after that, make sure that your cash buyer gives you, that deposit straight to you. My only question is, how would my cash buyer, give it to me? Check, account deposit, or, how would I go about that?
So if you have an LLC or a corporation, Inc., whatever it is, after you do the first deal and they're comfortable with you and they know you're legit and you work with like real title companies and even lawyers, you just have them make it out to your company and just write on their deposit for, 123, Main Street, and that's it. When you do that, you will never, ever babysit a deal again. Yeah. Now, I live in the state of Florida. They question everybody, and we get it on about a third of them, okay? But the problem is, just so you guys know, when you make out, on an assignment contract, when they make out a non-refundable deposit, no matter what your contract says, if you give it to a third-party escrow agent, they can only release that money if both parties agree, regardless of what your agreement says. So if you can't get them to make it out to you, you can write out a separate agreement with your escrow company, which is usually your title company, saying both parties agree to release these funds in the event they do not perform a closing on or before this date with clear title. And then they can get released. Why? Because I've had multiple people like not show up at a closing and go, whatever. And then they go, you're not getting that deposit. And then what happens is if you get in a dispute, usually the escrow company, they have to remain neutral. They send the money to your state. And then you actually have to go usually to small claims court or maybe even regular court, depending on the amount. And then you have to present it to a judge, which now you're open to interpretation. It's a nightmare. The idea is if someone doesn't pay attention and say you took a $3,000 deposit, I don't want to chase you down for it. So if you have them give you the money directly, so how do you do it? Just have them give you typically a check. They can do a wire and just have them make it out to your company and put it on there. And if you're confident about it, they think that's business as usual. And by the way, I've taken money from them. And here's another little trick. If you're uncomfortable and scared with it, go, listen, if you do not buy that property, which if they don't buy that property, you probably wouldn't want to do business with them again, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I've had some people, if you buy a property within the next 6 months from me, I'll credit you on that deal. But like, honestly, if I had a $3,000 deposit kept, I'm going to upcharge them like another $5,000 on the next deal because I really don't want to do business with them. It's just the truth. So I've had someone go, you got to give me a credit towards the next buy. You buy something in the next 90 days, I have plenty of inventory and I'll make it happen. After that, it goes bye-bye. Most people will not come back in 90 days and buy from you again because if they couldn't buy the first one, how are they going to buy the second one? So simply, short answer, have them make out a check to you or just send you a wire. And then you got to give them a receipt for it. If you give it to a third-party escrow company, if there's a dispute and you don't have a pre-signed agreement, that money goes to the state and it can take you up to 2 years to get it back.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, too, it's honestly, did you know like in a lot of like big wholesalers, that's how they do it. They just have them make out the check directly. That way they don't have to worry about any of the like deposits being transferred or like, what do I do if you don't show up? So to release escrow money, both parties have to sign off on it. And if the guy's ticked off at you or the gal, they're not going to sign that part ever. So, okay. But part of me says too, like, well, okay, fine. You put $5,000 in their earnest money, then I'm not going to give you your money back. And you can just let it sit for years for them. And eventually they'll negotiate it with you to get back too. Like, I don't want to spend money on a lawyer though. That's the catch-22. And if you guys go to court and you have an LLC, you have to get a lawyer to represent you. So sometimes you're spending $1,000 to $1,500 just to get $2,000 or $3,000 back. It's a bad deal. That's why if you can have them make it out to you, that's great. Usually the first time you've never done a deal, they don't trust you and you don't have credibility. So have them do the escrow. Just have them pre-sign a release in the event they don't show up to the closing.
Okay.
What else you got?
Well, you kind of probably answered my other question, which is basically just like, okay, how do I give my money to the attorney? But, yeah, it's pretty much, basic, I imagine, just give them a check also, for that.
Yeah, checks just take a little time to clear. Everyone likes to do wires now, but guys, keep in mind, if you're doing a small deposit, like it's between $35 and $60 to do a wire just one way now. It's ridiculous. Banks love to charge for everything. Yeah. And sometimes my check clears faster than the wire does because of all the fraud prevention and protection things going on. So just something to keep in mind.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was really nice meeting you guys. Zach, I just want to say I like the Wu-Tang Clan shirts that you always wear. I love it, bro.
I love it. You have to. I sing a Wu-Tang song sometime.
I don't think I can say this in the lyrics. But I love Wu-Tang.
Okay, dude, reach out to us anytime.
All right, for sure. I'm in the face group too, so yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. Thanks, man.
Perfect. All right, man. Appreciate it.